I have great respect for him.
Following up with Mike's question, loving that talk about feeling like the choice is place. Do you feel that way, that you just need to add some pieces that you guys can be right back in the mix next year?
Yeah, I absolutely feel that way. I think our foundation is fairly solid, and with the changes that we'll be making and bringing in some new talent, I think we can compete next year.
What has been made about the drafting here? Would you place more of an emphasis on that than somebody who has more of a pro background?
Well, you know, we'll see how it works with the candidates and what the mix of experience is. We've always been more of a philosophically draft-driven team. I think it's shown that that's been successful at a lot of places. I'd like to be able to keep that philosophy intact if we can. There's some candidates in mind, but not by anywhere close to a final list, and I'd rather not start mentioning candidates right now.
Have you hired Jerry Angelo and the relationship between them was not what it was, but I don't think anyone described that as a deal. The narrative coaches, how is this different? Because the next GM will inherit a coach who's left on the contract.
Yeah, it's a fair question. It's a lot different, I think, Dave. Back then, first of all, we hadn't had a general manager for a while. Dick Duran wasn't hired by me, so then I came in as CEO, and then 2 years later I brought in a general manager. It's a totally different setup now and a different structure, so I'm not expecting any concerns that way.
The best selling point of this job?
The best selling point? I think it's our coaching staff, the foundation of our players, to Chicago Bears. I think it's a great opportunity for someone, and I don't see any candidates not wanting it. Okay?
You consider the fact that there's a couple other teams that also are looking for general managers. Does that change your timetable at all?
Well, we're gonna do our research. We're gonna be thorough, and we're gonna find the right guy. And I'm sure the other teams feel the same way. But I'm confident that we will get the guy that makes sense for the Bears. Okay, thank you all.
George,
For his service, Ted's already cited his accomplishments, so I won't go through that again. Just want to say that he's been the epitome of class since the day he walked in the door 11 years ago, and that carried right through today. We have a high personal regard for Jerry, both myself and the rest of our family. We thank him for all of his work done on behalf of the Bears, and we wish him the best in the future. Our family has complete faith in Ted as our president and CEO. We are behind his decisions, and we supported his decision in this case. We're confident that Ted will find the right person as general manager, and I'll be happy to assist Ted in whatever way he wants in the search for a general manager. Our goal has been, and always will be, to win world championships. And every decision at every level of the organization is with that goal in mind. Bears fans deserve a championship team, and we are doing everything we can to achieve that goal. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
a lot has been made about the fact that this is your first off-season bold change, unlike what we're used to seeing from, I think, the Bears organization. How would you address the fact that this is representative of your new regime?
I said when I became chairman that I didn't feel any particular need to place a personal stamp on the Bears, that my job was to work with and in support of the president and CEO, and that's what happened in this case. Ted consulted with me. I support his decision, as does our entire family.
Look, as a public perception is that your fingerprints are on it as well. Is that said well with you?
Well, let me correct the misconception. It was Ted's decision. He asked for my input. I gave it to him. I gave him the input of the rest of ownership, and Ted made the decision, which we fully support.
George, can you talk about the kind of roller coaster your first full year has been? Team was 7-3, looking like a playoff team, couple of tough injuries, all of a sudden the rest haven't nodded to this today. It's kind of like the Dow Jones thing.
An assistant coach's wife once told me that no business has higher highs or lower lows, and that's certainly been the case this season. It's a lot of fun when you're winning 5 in a row, and no fun at all when you're losing 5 in a row. And everybody throughout the organization feels that, and everybody is working to win championships. That's what it's all about.
I assess how we can distinguish between responsibility between Lovey and Jerry and making the decision. How did you distinguish accountability between Jerry and Pat in terms of the direction of this organization?
Well, ownership is involved in those 3 key hires: president, general manager, head coach, at different levels. Ownership selects the president and CEO, but those 3 individual positions are evaluated individually. And the question in my mind is, given their entire body of work, should they be brought back? In the case of Ted, ownership's decision was, yes, we have complete faith in him. Ted conferred with me about general manager and head coach, and I gave him my input. I support the decision for bringing Lovey back. But each of those individuals arrived at separate times. There seems to be a tendency to lump all 3 together, and each employee in the organization is evaluated individually.
Coach, a lot of people consider this a bold move, given the fact that there were 2 years left on this contract. It could be expensive for the organization, as far as paying him. Did the financial aspect of this decision make it a difficult one at all for you?
No. Money had no bearing on the decision, won't have a bearing on our finding the right person for general manager.
Have a bearing on coaching?
No. We are committed to getting the right people in the right positions. That's part of ownership's responsibility, getting the right people in the right jobs and then letting them do their jobs so that we can achieve success.
How much do you look at the package that Bengal Veterans did, and how quickly do you think you can close that gap?
Like Ted said, the goal is 2012, and it's not just the Packers. The Lions finished ahead of us this year, so we need to target them. The Vikings have a good coach. They played us pretty tough just a couple days ago. I think we're the only division in the NFL that has had every team in the playoffs sometime in the last 3 years. So we're one of the toughest divisions in the NFL, and we need to close the talent gap in order to compete in the division.
George, can you close that talent gap by next year just in the draft, or being a major player in free agency?
That's not for me to decide. That's a decision for the general manager to make in conjunction with the head coach.
When you talk about closing the gap, and you guys like your core, I think everybody's sort of said that today. Do you feel the window's closing though, maybe for your defense? You're aware of the ages of some of the guys and how long they've been around. Do you guys sense that at all?
Well, 2 of the guys that I've been hearing for the last several years are showing their age. Brian Urlacher and Charles Tillman made the Pro Bowl this year, so they're playing at a high level still after all these years. They don't appear to be slowing down. In fact, they look to be getting better.
So if this trusted that to make this decision in saying so, what input do you have into Football Matters, if you have any at all?
Well, under our organizational structure, ownership selects the president and CEO. The president, in consultation with ownership, selects the general manager. The general manager, in consultation with the president and ownership, selects the head coach.
Do you see a need for any restructuring at all, if there was a decision that the general manager could also serve a co-role as a president in some form? Is there any way you would consider restructuring?
No, we like our structure. Like I said, we're just committed to getting the right people in the right jobs and letting them do their jobs. No. And that should come as a relief to Bears fans everywhere.
George, there's a report you guys launched with Rocky Word, and everyone was probably familiar with the type of Black Hawk kind of rejuvenation over there. Was changes here, Al, all discussed with Rocky Word that you consult other people in Chicago before kind of direction?
No, like I said, it was Ted's decision. I had lunch with Rocky and John McDonough, the Hawks, a couple of months ago. I tried to make courtesy calls on the other chairman in Chicago because this is a great sports city and we've got some great sports figures and I thought I could learn a lot from them, which I have. I've talked to Michael Reinsdorf a little bit, trying to get together with him and his dad. Have spoken a little bit with Tom Ricketts, who's been terrific, and conferring with other NFL owners like Jerry Jones and some of the others, just trying to learn as much as I can.
George, so Ted's going to lead the search here, but how engaged in the process are you going to be in terms of, determining who the eventual gentleman will be?
Ted's going to not just lead the search, but conduct the search, and I'm going to lend whatever assistance he wants me to. At some point, I imagine that when he's got the number down to a certain number or zeroing in on a particular candidate, he'll ask for ownership's opinion, and we'll be happy to give it.
George, who's your mother involved in this?
I did talk to Virginia, and she supports Ted's decision.
Couple more for George. What have you learned the most in how to characterize the first year in this role and after the year 10?
Well, because we didn't win the Super Bowl, I would characterize the year as disappointing, because that's the goal every year. Like I said, Bears fans deserve a champion. We're committed to bringing championships to Chicago.
Maybe you weren't there. Will the procedure be, as it was the last time you have a list of 10, you screen those and come down to 3 and screen those? That's a process.
Not sure yet, John. I'm going to start the process, make some calls, come up with a list of candidates, and then we'll see how many we bring in, or whether we do phone interviews, etc. I don't really think it matters one way or the other, but it just depends on the number of candidates on the Mr. Phillips, why don't you resume the microphone and the hot seat? Thanks, George. Timetable is we're going to start the process now, depending how long it takes. I want to make sure we get the right person in here. We're going to be thorough, and we're going to be thoughtful about it and find the right fit. So if that takes 2 weeks, great. If it takes, into February, again, it depends on candidates who might be with playoff teams as well. So the potential of going into February exists. Obviously, with free agency, March 12th, can back up from there. There's going to be a decision made before that.
Do you have any interviews set up now?
No, not right now, Dan.
Do you anticipate doing some this week in the window?
Not sure yet. Hard to tell. I'm not sure.
Okay, everybody. Great, thank you.